Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cinescape, where we're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. I am Sean Harrigan. Coming back this week as well is my good buddy Bill Tozzi. Bill, how you doing?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me back.
Well, you're very welcome for being back. We have a big show tonight. We have a lot of news to talk about from TV, from movies. A bunch of things have come out these last couple weeks. We also have a nice interview with RB3, Robert Butler III of the Schmoes Know show. He'll be calling into the show a little bit later. If you're just joining us this week, this is our second episode. We were kind of just throwing around some breaking topics in the movie world, news, TV stuff, all kinds of things in the entertainment business. So, we're just got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm going to throw it over to Bill to introduce our...
Let me just preface that the third show is going to have a lot of TV and movie scandals, though. We're going to really pump up the notch in the third episode.
Okay. If you are checking us out, we are on Facebook Live tonight. Find us on our Facebook channel at The Cinescape. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, all sorts of social media. So find us, check us out, and listen along. Call in, leave some questions for us. We'll answer them live on the show. And we are going to get into our TV Buzz segment. Bill, take it away.
Nickelodeon star Drake Bell has been sentenced to 96 hours in prison stemming from a DUI arrest last December. According to TMZ, the former Drake and Josh star struck a plea deal with prosecutors to serve the minimum sentence, which includes 4 years probation and a mandatory alcohol education program. The actor and singer was stopped by police on December 21st for driving erratically in Glendale, California at around 2:15 a.m. After being pulled over, the 29-year-old failed to field a sobriety test. He was arrested later and released on $20,000 bond. Bell served only 1 day in prison. 1 day. You believe this guy?
That's unbelievable. Well, I mean, it is believable.
20 grand,
the celebrity world.
1 day. 29 years old.
We'd never see the light of day again. Come on.
Glendale? I mean, come on, man.
A little too easy for me. This week, also, Fear the Walking Dead star Lorenzo James Henry has been cast as the disabled younger brother of the new Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, in the season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The show returns this Tuesday at 10 o'clock now on ABC. Bill, will you be checking out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with Ghost Rider on?
I don't know. If I can get my computer to charge, 12% battery just flies up on my screen here. I almost lost my notes.
Oh, boy.
But, as long as I'm powered in, I'll probably catch it, We'll check back, with the next show.
All righty. Fans of the Mallrats cult classic movie may be shocked to hear that they're actually in development with a Mallrats TV series. Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's terrible. Who's in this?
It's going to be the same returning cast and characters as the original movie. They had filmed in Exon Square Mall, just like they had done back in the 90s.
Right.
Kevin Smith, Silent Bob himself, came out and talked a bit about what to expect from the new series. Nice long quote here. It's a multi-generational tale. It's my chance to do John Hughes and Degrassi Junior High. Because much like the Degrassi formula, we know our legacy cast. We know Brody and Renee and T.S. and Jay and Silent Bob. And then we meet their kids. Whoa, their kids. I don't know if they're having kids. So we meet Brody and Renee's daughter, Banner Bruce, and the story takes place in his world and her world. Nobody goes to the fucking mall anymore, so the kids are baffled by it, and Brody still believes in it a big bad way. The thing that I'm happiest about is that when I was doing it as a movie, I always saw the two inspirations for Mallrats as John Landis and John Hughes. And the Mallrats 2 script that he had been working on was very John Landis. Very antic with guns everywhere and lots of explosions and action, and much less John Hughes. The chance to do Mallrats as a series allows me to do more John Hughes movies than John Landis, and particularly the area of Hughes that I never got to tackle as much as I did in Yoga Hosers, the setting of high school. Bill, are you interested in checking out a Mallrats TV series?
I'd give it a shot, but that time period has kind of moved past a little bit, and I don't know how something like that's going to hold up this day and age. But I check it out. It's probably typical vulgar, type of comedy. As long as I hear a schooner is a sailboat.
Yeah, it's probably going to be on one of these streaming sites like Netflix or Hulu or something like that. They're not going to put that on a basic cable series, I wouldn't think. You want that freedom of dropping F-bombs and dirty sex jokes, All right. Bill, you want to read this next story for us?
I can't read.
You can't read?
I can't read.
He's got computer problems over there?
Nah, I can read.
Or he just can't read?
Nah, I just can't read.
I'm
literally.
I thought we worked on that.
Can't read.
We were working on that all day today.
You see that piece of sandstone there? I brought that in, and Mike put it on a nice base for me because he asked me to sign something for him earlier, and I just signed that piece of sandstone. It's actually written in Sanskrit.
Is that a cuneiform tablet over
I know
there?
a 5,000-year-old dead language.
Did you find that in Puma Punku?
Well, the first bit of casting news has come out for the upcoming Punisher Netflix series.
Yes.
Yeah, that Punisher. But TV Line is reporting that the actor Ben Barnes, the Chronicles of Narnia, has been cast as the villainous series regular. No confirmation of his character has been made available as of yet, but the Punisher is currently sitting out there with no release date at this time. So, we have that news, but...
Yeah, I had heard a rumor, not sure, the absolute validity of it, but that he is going to play the son of John Travolta's character in the other Punisher. Bobby Saint, I think the son's name is, as the new character. So whether that comes to be true or not, we'll find out in the coming weeks.
Maybe there's two of us.
It's nice that we are actually starting to get some casting news for Punisher.
Yeah.
We don't have a date yet for it as when it's coming out, but I'm thinking 2017 late, maybe 2018.
I loved Travolta in that movie. Since we are Cinescape, but wasn't he a dick though in Grease? Yeah. He's on the beach in the beginning of the movie with Sandra, and she's having fun. And then, when they run back into each other, like back when school starts up, she's like, what happened to Danny Zuko I met at the beach over the summer? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe there's two of us. Check the yellow pages. Like, all right, dick.
Well, that
I could have done that.
That recent fan rumor going around. Have you heard about that?
The thing about how she's dead and it's a dream.
It's a little trippy. Mike, did you hear about this?
No, I didn't.
No.
What was it again? Say it again.
So this fan theory going around is that during the events of Grease, Sandy was actually dead the whole time, and the whole movie is just her dying mind replaying some memories.
Right. So you
drifting away.
You remember at the beginning she's playing on the beach with Danny.
Yes.
So apparently she at that point on the beach, she does something in the water or whatever, and then she's apparently dead in a coma or something.
Oh,
and then the whole
on.
movie is a dream of how this whole fairy tale of being a high schooler back in the day, because then at the end you notice she's all dressed up like rock star.
How high was this person?
Kanicki's all recovered and stuff. Rizzo dumped the baby. She's all good, and they just float off into that into the sky.
Away in the
car. Is that absurd?
It's absurd, but as you started talking, it reminded me of parts of the movie. I'm like, all right.
You're like, I can see that.
It's kind of like when they came out and said Wizard of Oz, that was matched up with the wall perfectly, and it was supposed to be that way. And then you're like, screw that, it's bullshit. And then you're like, oh. Then you watch, you're like, okay, I get it a little bit.
It must be a dream since Danny Zuko was able to smoke cigarettes and play track at the same time.
See, the car, I think you got me with the car flying.
Right.
Then you're like, oh, yeah, that did happen in the movie.
Yeah, you're like, I never really did get why they were in the Shake Shack at the end, and then we're in the car flying off.
And, all right, I'm in.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm sure there's probably some Rosetta Stone out there for us to figure that out.
Sure.
But, yeah.
All right, a couple more bits of news here for TV. Netflix's Bloodline, which is one of my favorite news shows over the past couple of years, is ending after season 3. Variety is reporting it's been canceled following its 2017 run, with its third season set to consist of 10 episodes. And the premiere for the final season has yet to be announced. Bill, I know I tried to get you and your fiance into this show. Did you continue with that? Did you watch any of it? Nah. I know Sam did.
The Bloodline ended.
Yeah. And there it is. And our last bit of news for TV Buzz is actress Mary Elizabeth Winstead has joined the cast of season 3 of FX's Fargo. Winstead joins Ewan McGregor as the other lead role, where she will be playing a character named Nikki, who is a crafty and alluring recent parolee, get this, with a passion for competitive bridge playing. Nikki is a woman with a plan focused on always being at least one move ahead of her opponents. Bill, have you ever checked out any of the seasons of Fargo?
No, I thought you were going to ask me if I ever played bridge.
No, not bridge.
Okay.
I'm more of a mahjong guy.
Mahjong. I like that game Taipei. Remember that? It was on Windows 95.
Yes, I think I do.
I never really beat it, but I just know you stacked cards or something.
All right. Well, like I said in the beginning, we do have a very special guest joining us in about 15 minutes or so. But before we get there, we have a couple of shows that we would like to talk about this week. We saw the return of American Horror Story.
Ooh.
We'll do that one second because I want to talk about another one first. It's a new show. It came on Cinemax last Friday, I believe.
Skinemax?
Only if we're talking about Horror Man. This show is called Quarry. It stars Logan Marshall Green, who is one of the leads in Prometheus.
Oh, yeah.
He is a returning Vietnam vet who's facing some of the common problems that the men coming home from war did go through with PTSD and hard time finding employment, unfaithful spouses and wives, those kinds of things.
Right.
So it's cataloging him through his return home and how he's having trouble reasserting himself back into society, and it's just it's very visceral. He winds up getting caught up in a contract killing business along with his buddy who has something happen to him, and we'll get into it in case you haven't watched it yet. But it was a very captivating show. Really cut to the core of what those men were coming home to. As somebody who, like my family, has a very steep tradition with military history, I can appreciate that.
Right.
So what do you think? Were you willing to check out this show? What do you think? Did I sell you on it, Bill?
I mean, I might check it out.
You might check it out?
I might check it out.
All right, a little half-hearted answer there.
Yeah. Come on, it's like if it doesn't fall into a certain time gap for me, or if it's not like accessible to me at that moment, it's like if I don't come home and it's 1:15 in the morning, and if Star Trek: The Next Generation is not on to get me to sleep, I mean, I don't got too much going for me then. But I'll give Quarry a try.
Yeah, give it a shot. See what you think. Give it a feel. All right. So with our other show that we're going to talk about today, obviously, is the newest season of American Horror Story. This season, is very steeped in mystery in terms of what the premise was going to be about. It was like every day for like 2 weeks we got a new promo with like a different kind of teaser.
Yeah, like some stuff crawling up skin, trying to make you
throw us off and confuse
out.
us, not really let us on to what's actually going to happen. But it was revealed that this season will be and is titled Roanoke. So I know you and I were having a conversation in the car about
the Roanoke Nightmare.
Yeah, the mythology behind Roanoke. But you want to talk about, just in case people aren't aware of what Roanoke is or where it was, kind of just fill them in a little bit.
It is down in North Carolina. It is a town down there where there was what is claimed to be the first colony of the United States, right? The first established colony of the United States. These settlers traveled over, settled in this part of North Carolina on the coast. If you've ever been down there, it's a very beautiful area down there. But they were there for a short, brief period of time, and then all of a sudden disappeared. And they disappeared in between the time when many more people were traveling over from England over to the States, discovering new land, and they had discovered that there's this town that was here, and nobody there, no inhabitants,
nobody came,
no
people.
Where did they go?
So where did they go, Bill? What are some of the theories behind?
Where did they go? I mean, if Giorgio Tsoukalos was here right now, he'd tell you, man, he'd be like, I don't know where they went. In a Shatner voice, of course. He'd be like, I don't know where they went, man. They traveled out here to warp speed.
There's some kind of extraterrestrial presence, yes.
But I mean that's one of the bizarre speculations in the in talking about Roanoke is well, they just up and left. Could have been aliens. You know what I mean? I mean, we know aliens have been visiting our planet for a very long, extended period of time. Analyzing us and observing us and seeing if we are the right kind of species that they might want to integrate into their own society one day. However, we won't know for any type of fact at this point in time right now. But what I do know is that pretty much they think natives slaughtered the community there, and there was just the land left. There's what's one of the other theories is they just up and left.
Yeah, they kind of
just wagons west, right?
And went home, right?
Right.
So, I mean, there's limitless possibilities. But the show does seem to be playing off of the supernatural element of people coming back that could have been the inhabitants of
Pitchfork
Roanoke.
Pete.
Yeah, Pitchfork Pete, as he's
Pitchfork
been aptly named.
Yeah.
So what were your overall impressions of the first episode here? Where do you kind of see this season going in terms of storyline? What's your initial thoughts?
Well, I think it's always hard to gauge off the first episode. They give you so much of one thing and leave you very little with another thing. And that little bit is where the mysticism usually catches up later in the season. So, from what I gathered from this week's episode, and I mean, a lot of reactions I saw on Facebook, people were, very negative to the thought. They're like, this isn't, what it usually is. But you have to realize, like, it never each season never is what it was the season
right,
prior.
And that's the beauty of it.
And that's the beauty of it. And people, I think try to conform and they're like, it wasn't the witches, it wasn't the clown. Right. Like, no, it's not, because
it wasn't supposed to be.
It wasn't supposed to be. It's a new season. And they're gonna, scare the shit out of you a little bit in their own little way. And they did that on that first episode. They built up a lot of, anxious moments in the episode. You see certain things, but you didn't get the full glimpse. And then at the end, you see Sarah Paulson laying on the ground in the middle of the woods.
Yeah,
and
the ground
starts
breathing.
Breathing, lifting up, and there's fog. And that should have been the name of this season. The fog.
Yeah, well, that was one of the.
It was almost a mist,
ones.
right?
Yeah,
yes, but she's laying on the ground at the end, and the ground starts lifting up, and she gets scared, and she tries to wander away, and all around her, coming through the forest is a group of colonial dressed people, and they're holding pitchforks and torches, and then. Out of nowhere comes, it's like Hacksaw Jim Duggan just took this guy's head off. I can only say Hacksaw Jim Duggan because I'm like, practically seeing a picture of him behind the wall and stuff here. But, this guy comes out and his head is just scalped off. And you're like, whoa, way to end an episode. All right. But, I think that, that's typical American Horror Story. Come out. A little subtle, strong story, and then you throw some, some gore in their face. And, I think this season is, with that, if we get any type of similarity between Coven and this season, I think the time periods were very, very similar. If we're looking back, like Coven had to do with a lot of New Orleans history,
right, yeah.
1700s, 1800s. That was based on a true story. Do you actually know who owns the Madame Lalaurie house in New Orleans?
Only because you asked me this question the other night, and the answer is Nicolas Cage.
It is Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage.
Nick Cage owns Madame Lalaurie house. I had to do National Treasure 1 and 2. Buy that house.
I like National Treasure.
I also have a piece of frozen poop that fell out of the sky from a lunar landing. It's great.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Nick.
No problem.
So we were talking a bit about how this season differs from the past. We saw the crime drama, documentary reenactment kind of
drama, reenact a drama.
Make a new
cinedrama
term for that. But we had the characters narrating their experiences and then having the reenactment scenes with Sarah Paulson played the one character that Lily Rabe did. She was describing her experiences. Cuba Gooding Jr. also in this season.
Yeah, that was nice.
What did you think about Cuba?
Yeah, it wasn't bad or anything like that. I'm really kind of curious how this new take is, because they did, like you said, it's like a dramatization that gets acted out by the actors, and I wonder, is some of the story going to be embellished a little bit because it's kind of doing this dramatization?
I hadn't thought of that, but I kind of like that angle. Are they portraying it the way that they said it, or are they kind of doctoring it up a little bit?
Exactly. So
that's interesting.
You have, and the one actress, Lily Robb, was she was one of the dramatization characters, so she wasn't actually inserted in the storyline, and as far as the real events taking place. So being on that flip side, I'm curious to see how that trades off in the story. I think that'll be an interesting take on the see how that works out.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a lot different from the terms of the cinematography and how they were shooting. The aesthetics of this first episode, very different from things that we've seen in the past episodes. In terms of premieres for each one, where do you think you might rank this in terms of the first episode of the season?
I'd probably put this number 3.
Number 3 behind what?
Behind Coven and then Murder House first.
Okay.
Season 4 with the circus and stuff like that. It was good. It did something different like it always does, but
they all are different, but then they all fall into the same trap at the same time, and that's where I think the show and the season, the plot line kind of veers off track and starts to go other places and incorporate other smaller storylines that really don't matter too much to where they were going initially. And it's really more just to have filler episodes and things to continue having, more episodes per season. And I think they would be remiss if they didn't look to kind of eliminate that kind of storytelling to really get more to the point. I wouldn't mind fewer episodes if they were better quality episodes. I don't need 23 episodes of a series if you can give me half of that and every one of them be exemplary.
Right.
I don't need 5, 6, 7 episodes that are kind of just mashed in between the season premiere and the fall premiere.
And you know what?
Finale.
After seeing now we're upon 6 seasons, which we'll get another installment of this. But I think the one thing that they always have going for them is that the time of year that they do this. But at the same time, I feel like it's a downfall. And I'll say this because whenever Halloween does roll around and it's that week where they do a Halloween show, because they have been notorious for their theme is always, the Hallowed Eve. Because if you've noticed over the past few
there's
episodes,
always a Halloween.
If you noticed over the past few episodes, there is this, they observe and acknowledge Halloween, but they observe it more for this, not so much satanic, but this
like a cult,
this
effect.
Cultist spiritual, gathering and occasion that happens where the undead comes alive for one night, and I feel like as much as that has become a sort of canon of the series, it's also taken away from it because it makes it feel like you have to do one of these like one-off shows to kind of just acknowledge you're this show in this time period, like at this time of year, and it just kind of, detracts. It's kind of like, well,
it's like the 90s like sitcom episode where they go to Disney World.
Right, but it's kind of like, it's like that, but you want it to be more like when Saved by the Bell would do like a serious drug episode, but then they'd give you the message afterwards, like, hey, guys, remember, we're just like you, don't do drugs. Like, you want it to be a regular episode, but then the cast just kind of, like, take their masks off and be like, hey, happy Halloween. Don't eat Reese's with needles in them. Like, that's the kind of message, like, all right, like, yeah, thanks, Lady Gaga, for telling me that.
Who are you excited to see this season? Really quickly, because our guest is on the line.
I want to see Gaga.
Gaga?
I want to see Gaga. Yeah, I loved her, coming on to the show last year, And I'm curious to see what she's going to be this year.
All right, I'm gonna go with Gaga too. I think she could, do a lot of crazy things this year, this season.
I'm Gaga.
All right, Mike is gonna put us on with our very special guest. His name is Robert Butler III, aka RB3 from the
RB3.
Schmoes Know show. RB3, thank you so much for calling in. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great, man.
Doing great.
Thank you so much for calling in. If you guys aren't aware of Schmoes Know, they are on YouTube. They do a lot of great hysterical things over there in regards to movie reviews, news. They play lots of games. They have a great time. RB3, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got started in the entertainment industry.
I am currently at USC studying film.
Go Trojans.
I'm sorry?
Go Trojans.
Yeah, go Trojans. Right. Fight on. In fact, we got a game later on tonight. So,
You getting out there for that?
I'm sorry?
You getting out there for that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, drink two
I'm
for
really
me,
looking
okay?
Okay. But yeah, so how did I get started? Oh, I guess I'm still trying to find my way into the entertainment business. Right now I'm just kind of an intern for Schmoes, and then I do some other things as well. But I'm still studying and still learning and everything. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. What do you are you working on anything right now over there? Like what do they give you to do?
Well, I'm usually, running the different social medias during the show. I do behind the scenes videos. I put up those old archive videos from the Schmoes Plus stuff every now and then.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be introducing some new things that are gonna be happening on the side channel and the main channel pretty soon. Particularly with Copster and myself and Cody that we're going to be working on, and Ace as well. So,
very cool.
There's some exciting stuff.
That sounds cool. We're looking forward to seeing some of that.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you. We got a lot of movies that have come out over the summer. We still got some to come. We got a couple months left in the year. What movie have you seen this year that you really stood out for you, and what movie are you looking forward to next?
One of my favorites, I kind of talked about it on the Schmoes show, so I kind of think Neon Demon is one of my favorites of the year so far. And then
what was it? I didn't hear it.
The Neon Demon.
Okay.
Directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, and then there's also Sing Street that JT's been recommending.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of really good things about that.
Yeah, and Civil War was really, really great as well. So there's been a lot of great movies that's kind of been that, obviously the blockbusters haven't really been great, but I think the smaller movies are really taking the show this year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, especially I would say in the horror genre. I mean, we've had a lot of really good and hard-hitting horror movies with, Conjuring. We have Blair Witch out right now. A bunch of them. What's your favorite horror movie to come out so far this year, RB3?
Well, being completely honest, I haven't seen too many horror movies this year. I'm not a big horror guy in general. I like Conjuring 2.
That wasn't bad. I liked it.
Yeah. What are some of the other ones? Don't Breathe. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, but I'm really, really ready to check it out.
Right. Blair Witch came out, I guess, but The Witch. The Witch was actually, I think The Witch is
Did you like that?
My favorite.
You like that one?
Yeah, that was great.
I couldn't get into it. I mean, it was okay, but it was boring to me, to be honest.
Right. Well, I fell on edge. I think the last 10 minutes were.
Yeah, I mean they're
overall. I think.
Yeah, they were really creepy, but I mean the film just didn't, as a whole, really get me, too roped into it. I don't know about you.
Right.
So
I definitely find I find a lot of great horror entertainment like on television. I know you guys are just talking about American Horror Story.
Right, are you a fan?
Oh, big fan, big fan.
What did you think of this week's episode?
I think he's good. I mean, I'm a little indifferent on it. I love seeing Cuba Gooding Jr. Added to the show now, coming from O.J. Simpson to this. But
yeah, nice little team up there.
That was a nice little
Cuba
transition there. RB3. That was a great show too. You know, that was I really liked the way that they did that, and especially with Sarah Paulson was actually the co-star too there. But what were you indifferent about with the episode? What didn't you like?
Well, I think I like it. I think, well, for me, American Horror Story is, I can never really get fully into the first episodes of every season just because they have so much more building, and we still haven't seen really anybody. We only saw a glimpse of Kathy Bates, and then we didn't even see Lady Gaga in there. Yeah,
I know, but I don't mean to cut you off, but RB3, like, isn't it, like, that's the part that we always hate, but isn't that the part that we love, though, at the same time? Like, we hate them for doing this to us.
It's kind of that build up.
You know, like we were just talking about this before you came on, and that's what they do every first episode. They give you so little of one thing, which is usually that build up, but the other thing is that yes, it kills us inside. We like that episode, but there are some things that we can pick apart about it. But I think that just leads us for such a better next couple episodes.
Right. No, I agree, but I feel like there's been some seasons where the first episode has been like super, like I feel like for the pilot, the first season was
I agree.
Amazing,
I agree.
Season 2, but for me, I don't know. It could either, for me, it could be, it could be as great as Asylum, which to me is my favorite season, or it could be Hotel, which I didn't like at all, but. We just kind of have to see. I do like the style of like kind of doing it as a documentary sort of thing and dramatic reenactments.
Yeah, I enjoyed that part as well. It was a nice little change up from the storytelling that we've seen in the past. Just as you've been coming through in the entertainment industry, who have been some of your inspirations to kind of get started in doing what you've been doing and kind of going where you want to go?
I guess, for me, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, director. So I've always looked up to people, like Spike Lee or John Singleton. And then, Spielberg, all those kind of guys, all the big guys. And, I've just been trying to, follow in some footsteps, but also trying to find my own ways to go, because times are changing, and just kind of trying to learn and interact with as many people as possible. When I first started really looking into film, I was under a mentorship with actor director Bill Duke, and
Bill Duke, from Predator and Commando.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had a mentorship program where he mentored a lot of kids from areas that I come up from, and he kind of taught a lot of us, kind of what the entertainment industry is like and things like that. So, I've been trying to follow through with, and we're still pretty good friends. I'm still working as an intern under him. So that's really, that's kind of been a lot of my inspiration and aspirations in terms of getting into the industry.
Very cool. Very cool. What would you say has been your biggest breakthrough in the field so far? What's the biggest thing that you've accomplished to date?
Well, Schmoes, probably being on Schmoes.
Right. Yeah.
That's has been a great opportunity, and going to USC, because I just transferred to USC from CSUN, which is California State University, Northridge. So now I'm at USC, which is the #1 film school in the world, and having the opportunity to go here is really great.
That's awesome. You mentioned that you're an aspiring filmmaker. Do you have anything that you're currently working on or have in the pipeline coming up soon?
Nothing coming up, but I just finished a short that's on my YouTube page called Go Seek.
Okay.
And that's if you search up Robert Butler III on YouTube, you should be able to find my YouTube page. And that's my latest short film. In terms of things coming up, not really. I'm mostly focusing on school and work and everything. So
awesome. All right. What are a couple movies that are coming out later this year that you're really most looking forward to or excited for?
I'm really excited for La La Land. I think that movie. I've been excited for it for a while, and I know a friend of mine saw an advanced screening of it months ago, and he said it was great. So I'm really looking forward to that. And there's a lot of good movies, Nocturnal Animals. I feel like a lot of the movies that came out of TIFF this year, that are kind of more critically acclaimed ones, I'm really looking forward to. The Denzel Washington movie Fences, I think should be really great. So,
all right, cool.
So RB3, we were just talking about airplane movies earlier. So there's a couple great ones. I got one on my mind, but I want to see what you're thinking of. What's when you think of like a great airplane flick? What airplane flick is your movie? I want to see where you stack up with Sean and I.
Now, do you mean like Airplane, like the series,
not Airplane, the movie
featuring airplanes?
Like
in it?
I'll give you an example. Like I really like Die Hard 2 as an airplane movie. Not many people would regard it as an airplane movie, but when you think about the airplanes are up there for like hours, he's trying, this Spanish general tries to land one and he fails, and then John McClane gets blown out of an airplane. That's an airplane movie. I gotta say it. Others might say Air Force One or, but what?
Con Air.
RB3, what do you got in the way of an airplane movie? We're trying to settle this debate right now.
Well, there are quite a good few ones. I mean, the original Airport, which Airplane is a spoof of, I think is really great. One of the first airplane movies. Catch Me If You Can. Would you consider that an airplane movie?
Sure.
I think it kind of.
He goes to all those places by an airplane. Yeah. Okay.
And let's see. There's been some great ones. The Hot Shots.
Yes.
Hot Shots.
Part deux.
Yeah, Part deux. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Like you guys said, Air Force One, Con Air. A recent one that I liked a lot that not a lot of people liked was Flight with Denzel Washington.
Why? No,
I think that movie was really good.
I haven't seen that. Have you seen that?
Nah, I didn't check that one out either.
I seen the one where Denzel was on a train, Unstoppable. Remember that? Denzel always finds himself on some sort of vehicle. You notice that? He's either on a train. He might as well just remake Planes, Trains, and Automobile. What do you think about that, RB3? Could you imagine Denzel like kind of rounding out the end of his career like with just a nice lighthearted comedy where he's just this down on his luck guy just trying to help someone out, traveling by planes,
right.
Trains, and automobile, and who does he get paired up with?
Right. I mean, I feel like if Denzel he hasn't really done too many comedies. I mean. He did Much Ado About Nothing, but that
did Much Ado About Nothing for me too.
All right. Well, we only have a couple more minutes.
Flight is great for me.
We're gonna let you go in a couple minutes. I have a couple more questions for you. I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here. Since you are kind of in the Hollywood landscape, what inside scoops on anything coming up do you have for us? Do you have anything that you can share a little tidbit of?
I don't really have anything really.
No insider information.
I mean, there's some things, but I mean,
spit it out, RB3.
People saying things they heard. I mean, I don't know. I could tell you one that I know. Like I personally, for me, I mean, an upcoming movie that I saw early was Magnificent Seven, and I saw that months ago, and I think that's great, and from me seeing it personally. So that's kind of, is that a scoop? Does that count as a scoop? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, I thought the film looked really good. I was interested in seeing it, but knowing someone like yourself has already seen it before, we got a chance to. It's a good film that we should check out. Yeah, that's a good piece of information, I'd say, Bill.
It's a nice little chunk. I'll take it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Scoops. I mean, I don't know. I hear it's one of those things where I heard somebody say that they heard somebody say that they heard somebody else say it. So
right. Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's how these things usually get started. I tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on. You know how these things work.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really. The only one. Okay, I'll say one. But again, this is the furthest from the things I can say is like an official scoop. I mean, I heard like one of my friends tell me that another one of his friends is like a production assistant on Wonder Woman, and he said that movie is going pretty. It's a little sloppy in terms of its production so far.
Sloppy.
That doesn't surprise me.
Wonder Woman and a sloppy woman. Oh, RB3 delivered it here first.
I don't want to say that's a scoop, and don't quote me on.
We won't quote. We will strictly list you as anonymous, but But hey, did any?
I love Warner Brothers, so hey, if they're looking for somebody to come in and work with, I'm fucking
You're the man, right?
Yeah, I'm the man. I'm not saying anything negative about your movie.
We'll have you on next time. We just need to make sure that you get somebody on the set of Wonder Woman that can tell us what Gal Gadot's bush looks like. Can that happen? Can you come back on and be like, yeah, it's she's got the triangle going on. She's got the Hitler stash. The earth is scorched, my friend. But I'm sure you'll do us proud and get a man in the field out there. We need numbers out there.
I'll try and fly out to London where they're shooting.
Fly out to London? That's bold of you, my friend. That's bold.
And see if we could get some information for you guys.
Sounds good. Listen, as we begin to wrap up here, RB3, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you giving us the time. Check RB3 out on Schmoes Know. He is one of their frontmen out there, producing, directing, making videos. He's going to the USC game tonight. Hopefully they get a win. RB3, we thank you for joining us tonight. Any last words?
No, I don't think I have anything. I probably won't be going actually physically to the game, but I'll be.
No, you're going to the game. I just said you're going to the game. You're going.
Somebody
to the
get him
game.
some tickets.
Somebody get RB3 some tickets.
I'll go to a viewing party. I'll
Scalp some tickets, man.
There
Scalp.
You go. Watch it at a bar. RB3, where can we find you online, man?
You can find me on Twitter, RB3 Schmoes, on Instagram, Robert the Movie Guy, and again, you can watch my latest short film, Go Seek, on my YouTube channel. So just search up, YouTube.com, search up Robert Butler III, and I should be up there.
Right. Okay. We'll be sure to share that on our page as well. RB3, thank you so much for calling in, man. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man. Enjoy your night.
RB3, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was pretty awesome for our first interview. What do you think?
Yeah, not too bad.
Nah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah. Do you think I intimidated him a little bit?
No, I mean, watching RB3 on the Schmoes Know show, I've been watching them for years now, and he's a newer addition over the past year.
You think he'll watch me tonight? You think he's going to play back the Facebook Live
I
video?
hope so.
He's going to watch me, and he's going to be like, the way he interviewed me. I mean, hey, I don't know the man, but...
I mean, I'm just saying. I've seen what the man looks like, and he could kick your ass.
Once you see the body behind the voice, it's... Right, Mike?
It's laughable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He doesn't even need the mic on. We just got a head nod. Yeah.
All right, well...
What, no, Jay?
We are going to get back into the normal flow of things now that our interview is finished.
Normal flow. Let's get back in the flow.
We are going to flip the script here.
I'm going to flip.
And change our focus to film news and reviews. So we have
a little little flip script.
Yeah, did you like that little sound clip here?
It was great. Yeah.
We're upgrading here over at Cinescape. So we have a bunch of news stories that have come out since our last show 2 weeks ago. Let's get into the first one.
All right, real quick. I saw a movie the other night with this actor in it. I totally blank already what it was. He was a creepo, but he's great at creepos. But according to Variety, actor Stanley Tucci will reprise his role of the character Joyce in the upcoming Transformers: The Last Night. The film also stars Mark Wahlberg again, Anthony Hopkins, and Laura Haddock. So are we done with Transformer movies yet? Apparently not.
They're like herpes, man. They go away for a little bit.
They go away
every once in a while. They pop back.
You put a cream on it, then they come back.
Did you see the last one? The Extinction?
I wait for movies like that to become available and free to me, like, on everyday cable. I'm not gonna. Certain movies like that I don't seek out anymore. I know what Optimus Prime looks like. I know Bumblebee. They're fighting a cube or something. Something happens.
Cybertron.
Cybertron. Then it's Beast Wars and shit. Grimanimals. Remember Grimanimals? Remember them?
And I was a big Beast Wars fan.
Yeah,
Beast Loved Wars. Beast Wars. For those of you who have been under a rock lately, it seems like for the last year or so, we had about 3 or 4 different actors signed on to play the Crow in the new reboot.
I think Nicolas Cage.
No, Nicolas Cage has not been cast.
What about Bill Shatner? He can play the Crow.
Yeah, he's a little. He's a
tortured soul. You killed my wife. I got a crow that fly around.
Game of Thrones star Jason Momoa has been cast as the Crow in the upcoming reboot that is set to begin production this January.
I like it.
The news broke last month that Momoa was set to play the star in the reboot. Bill, what do you think about Jason Momoa? I mean, he is not the prototypical person that you want playing Eric Draven. He's a large, hulking man, and Eric Draven certainly is not.
Well, you only know that because of what Bruce Lee's son had to do in the movie. I think it's a great move. I mean, when you say prototypical, well, what was prototypical? Was Bruce Lee's son prototypical at the time? You didn't even know about the Crow back in '93.
Well, there's.
I just said series. Like 4 times. Like I'm from Brooklyn, where the Crow clearly does not avenge.
There's the comic series too.
There's the comic series.
And, however, Bruce. What am I thinking of? Bruce Lee's son. What's his name?
That's why I keep saying Bruce Lee's son.
That's really embarrassing.
You would think with a computer in front of me, I could navigate and Google Bruce Lee's son.
Brandon Lee.
That's what it is.
He fit the.
He's on the wall. No, he's not. He's not on the wall.
Yeah, Brandon Lee was the more picture of what the Crow looks like in.
Well, he looks like Bruce Lee.
That on the wall is a signature by Rochelle Davis, who played Sarah in The Crow because she was in this exact studio.
That's a fun fact.
A couple of weeks ago.
Would you believe Mike, our producer for the Eve, sitting over there quietly in his corner, his little corral, chimes in with a Crow reference, adding to the Cinescape experience. I love it. You know what I mean?
She was in here and the topic of the Crow reboot came up.
What'd she say?
And she is 100% undoubtedly against it.
She said it fucking sucks.
She is starting like a campaign against it. She believes that the Crow is such a legacy, and with Brandon's legacy of his
shouldn't
death
be touched
during it should not be touched. And she went on a whole like hour-long rant where she got very emotional and actually shed a tear.
Wow.
Saying how if Brandon were to know that this was going on, he would be furious.
He would nunchuck the shit out of somebody.
She is completely and utterly against it.
I mean, I'm not going to, step on somebody's opinion. They're entitled to it. But, enough time has passed. Somebody's going to do something. Somebody's been bound to do something with this. But I would agree to her point where, the legacy of something has been intact for so long. There's a certain, I don't even know what the word is right now, but it's great. You know what I mean? It's just one of those timeless pieces. It came out at a time where nobody else was doing anything like that, and it really struck a chord with fans, and it did something right. And you know, but at the same time, Hollywood is going to squeeze the ounce of any success,
Sure,
and try and get something out of it. So you can't be mad that somebody's doing what everybody has done already. 1,000 times over, but I could see where she's coming from.
I mean, I am Facebook friends with her, so I'll see if she'll come on Cinescape to
talk
her point of view.
We'd love to have her on. I mean, I'm not arguing any points here. I'd like to hear her out.
Well, I think I would like to have you argue some points.
I mean,
I think that would make for some good radio.
If I need to argue, I'll argue a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not going to hold anything against her. It's like what's going on with football with the national anthems and stuff like that. But hey, that's a different discussion.
When emotions get involved, you can't really argue too much with emotions.
But I could see her point of view. How old is she now? Do you know offhand, roughly ballpark? I'm not even 40s.
Nobody tries to
20s,
guess a lady's age.
I know,
but she looks about 30s.
Yeah, she looks good for. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're doing the high pitch.
We were in here.
Jay Leno's gonna come in. Oh, okay, great, Jay.
She was sweet. She was awesome. She sat in here for the whole time, and we had a good time. So
that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of things like that are probably getting people our age, and she's obviously in a similar age group where a lot of the shows and movies that we have grown up with, have now become, for lack of better words, it's become bastardized. A lot of people feel like, oh my God, this made my childhood. I wanted to be a Ghostbuster.
I have a great example of that.
Okay, go ahead. But
so yesterday I'm watching the newest Ninja Turtles movie.
The second one.
Yes, Out of Shadows.
Dark Shadows.
I didn't get to finish it.
Okay.
But
that's what she said.
Oh. So I didn't get to finish the movie. I'm not too upset about the fact that I didn't. I just like the first movie when I went to see that one. I was mildly excited for it. I didn't like the look of the turtles, but as the movie was going, it's just a bag of crap. I mean, the first one is so
real sack of shit.
bad. I hated every second that I sat in that movie theater. And then the second one's coming out, and you see Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang and Casey Jones, and he's played by Stephen Amell, who plays Arrow on TV. And I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm getting excited for this stupid freaking movie, and then I start watching it, and it's just ridiculously awful, just trash. It's fart jokes. It's just stupid. And everything looks terrible. The CGI in that movie is so bad and laughable that you can't take turtles walking, talking, and kicking ass seriously.
Terrible, man.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Can we please get Jim Henson's puppets back and resurrect this turtle franchise?
Yeah.
All right, well, I didn't mean to go on a diatribe about how much I hate the new Ninja Turtles.
I think you did.
I did. I had something to prove
tonight. I think you used your
–
public internet radio airtime to make a statement like how countless people are sitting for the national anthem.
You heard it here first, Michael Bay. I hate your turtles.
Michael Bay is crying somewhere at a Denny's in South California.
As he should be.
Yeah. Eating a Grand Slam breakfast. What time is it there? Like 3:27?
Well, he's getting up there. I guess the early bird. All right, well, we have a few more stories here. The Hollywood Reporter has reported that Shanghai Dawn is back on the table for MGM after the sequel was teased all the way back in 2003 after the release of Shanghai Nights, starring Owen Wilson.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
And Jackie Chan.
Why are you trying to talk it up like, the great Shanghai Nights of 2004? Is it 4?
03?
03.
I don't know. But Napoleon Dynamite director Jared Hess is signed on to direct this not really wanted third sequel. Bill, anything? Do you care at all remotely?
Are you
about
still
the
talking
story?
about?
I can't believe I spent this long talking. about
I can't believe you have dead air. How am I going to get this time back? Brad likes that we're drinking Molson on Facebook.
Hey, all right, I'll take
Hey,
it. Thank you, Brad.
Somebody's watching.
Pop on open and have one with us. So here, this will turn it around. Finally, we
I'm looking at the notes.
not finally that we're moving on.
Why do we start with the Sooner?
No, finally we have Super Troopers 2. It is
That
coming.
is super duper.
It is underway. It started shooting on September 7th. The guys from Broken Lizard, Jay Kandashar, all those guys, they crowdfunded $2 million to get the sequel off the ground and in production.
Why can't we crowdfund to get this show off the ground?
Yeah, right. Another bit of news, though. The victim of the most recent Comedy Central roast, Rob Lowe, he has also been confirmed to appear as a small town mayor from Quebec named Guy Lafranc, who is also a former hockey player. How do you think Rob Lowe might interact with the Broken Lizard guys?
It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. He's going to be phenomenal. He's got very large hands. It's going to be great. He's going to be out at the forefront of the Super Trooper 2 campaign. Just say his name. He'll appear. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be huge.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, a couple more. We talked about Daniel Day-Lewis a little earlier.
We did?
In this episode. We did, yeah.
On this
dropped
day?
his name today.
Today,
almost an hour
this
ago.
day, we talked about Daniel
Yes.
Day
Yeah,
Lewis.
double D Lewis.
Double D. You think that's how he goes around a circle of friends?
I might.
Hey, do you know Double D Lewis? No, but I know Triple D Lewis.
So
I had nowhere to go with that. DVDA Lewis.
you know all these weird porn acronyms that I haven't picked up on yet.
Well, you'll get there.
Daniel Day-Lewis is reteaming with director Paul Thomas Anderson on a new project, which will be set in 1950s London and will explore the fashion world. I am a huge I was just going to call him Double D.
I thought you were going to say
Daniel Day-Lewis fan. I mean, Gangs of New
Double
York, Lincoln. He's had so many great movies.
I'm going to pass on this. You lost me when you said he's going to explore
London
the fashion world
Yeah,
in the 50s. London didn't even get cool till like the late 60s. Jesus Christ.
I'm not feeling
that's a
that
pass for me.
I would agree.
Daniel Doopity Dunn Lewis. You could team up with...
There's the Triple D.
You could team up with Paul Michael Thomas or whoever he's hanging out
Paul
with.
Thomas Anderson.
Yeah. What's the dude from who am I thinking of?
Wes Anderson?
No, not Wes Anderson. He's not an Anderson. What's the dude that remember he was the white
Pauly
guy?
Shore.
No, he was the white guy who went black. Remember he
Michael Jackson.
He did blackface for the first time. What movie was that? Jeez, we should know as Cinescape. Oh my god.
Maybe somebody listening online can help us out.
No, nobody.
Tropic Thunder?
No, not Tropic Thunder. It was like from the 80s.
Tropic
See
Thunder?
Thomas Howell.
See Thomas Howell.
What movie was that? What movie was C. Thomas Howell in? Remember he did blackface?
Boys Don't Cry?
No, not Boys Don't Cry. Just keep saying something until I get the answer here.
A Fish Called Wanda?
No, it's not A Fish Called Wanda.
The Incredible Mr. Limpet?
No, it could be Lemony Snickets though. Wait,
Wasn't
no,
in the 80s.
no, it wasn't Lemony Snickets. What am I
Soul
thinking?
Man?
Soul Man. Yeah, it was Soul Man. Soul Man. Do you remember Soul Man? He was basically like this white guy dating like a black girl, and then like he had to do blackface to pull off that. So he thought people thought he was black.
Oh, man.
It's a pretty bold statement at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean something that you don't really do today.
No, you can't get away with that today.
But it was pretty hilarious though.
As we found out, Josh Innes got fired for something like that over at WIP.
He stinks. Josh Innes.
If you're listening, Josh,
If
you
you're
stink.
listening to an internet radio broadcast,
He's
right
actually
now,
broadcasting shows from his couch right now
Yeah.
on Facebook.
good luck. We probably have more viewers than he does right now.
Maybe. That would be great. I would take
Wouldn't that be great? I think we had 8 the last time I looked.
Hey.
That's 8 more than we had last time.
Yeah, hey, that's what happens when we go live.
Yeah.
A couple more things. Actor Joe Manganiello has reportedly officially been cast after I wrote these notes.
Right.
He's officially been cast in the upcoming Batman solo movie directed by Ben Affleck as Slade Wilson, a.k.a. Deathstroke. He might also have an appearance in Justice League. We're not totally sure about that yet, but he has some promotional material that has been released. Jeff Johns, the DC head honcho, came out in an interview. He confirmed everything. Ben Affleck put out that little teaser video of Deathstroke. Everything looked pretty cool. I mean, we've seen him on Arrow on the CW. Now we get to see him on the big screen.
Check it out. Chicks like them in Magic Mike.
Yes, I don't think he's going to be.
That's what I heard, but I found out for myself.
Oh, yeah, I heard you really liked that movie.
Yeah,
and the sequel.
It's a great movie. You know what I mean? It's more than just stripping in a male strip club. I mean, it's guys that are in much better physique than us. Doing what we typically do on an everyday basis, but better. And it's inspiring. But before we wrap things up here soon, I want to give a quick shout out to toxicradio.net.
Yes,
for,
we are in the Toxic
kicking us
Studios
live here tonight
little...
on a Saturday. So all you losers that got nothing going on a Saturday, that's drinking a nice Canadian water with prairie barley and no preservatives.
Toxic only brought you in here because you had beer.
Hey, we'll bring beer every time.
Hey, this will be consumed in mass quantities. But before we go, let's talk about Jurassic World. The franchise, real quick, has been confirmed to be a trilogy now. Oh, God! Oh!
Must go faster. Must go faster.
Shoot her! The director of Jurassic World 2, J.A. Bayona.
You found that funny, huh?
Yeah, I found his last name funny. Bayona recently spoke with Latino Review on the matter, saying, "It's very interesting. The whole Jurassic World is a trilogy that Colin Trevorrow has envisioned. We're writing the second chapter, and it's very interesting where he's leading the story. I grew up watching Steven Spielberg movies, and I love the movies and the legacy, so it's a question of being truthful to the legacy and at the same time bringing new stuff that people will appreciate. We are still 6 months ahead of shooting, and so far so good. It is very exciting right now." Jurassic World 2.
Oh! He's back!
Is scheduled to hit theaters on June 22nd, 2018. So we have that to look forward to. 2 more movies coming out after that. Hopefully Chris Pratt is in the second one. Be nice to see him in the third one.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of be expected. The first Jurassic World, it made a lot of money, and this is a no-brainer. As somebody who was kind of in between on it myself, I mean, there was a lot to like. There was a lot to kind of, rag on or dislike.
What did somebody say to us the other night about the Jurassic Park Jeep? Remember they find the Jeep, the old abandoned
gas-powered and the
they're like, "Hey,
Jeeps.
man, did you know it's a motorcycle battery in that Jeep that they started with? How could it start with a motorcycle battery?" Like, who was that guy that came up to us? He's like, "Hey, by the way, did you know?" Like,
yeah, it's
great, yeah, man.
Great that you know
how
that,
did that Jeep start with that same gasoline from 20 years ago, man? All right, it just happened, okay?
Yeah, movie. It's called movie magic.
It's called movie magic. It's called magic fuel, okay?
Yeah, tackling fuel.
Tackling fuel.
All right, and our last story tonight comes from the Hollywood Reporter that Fox Studios has acquired the rights to Stan Lee's life story with plans to adapt it as an action-adventure along the lines of Kingsman: The Secret Service. In the film, Lee will be a hero with an alter ego, much like his many Marvel creations. Bill, what do you think about the prospect of an action-adventure Stan Lee-based film?
It's great.
All right, here's what I have to say to that one.
Excelsior!
Yeah, I have somebody texting in. Actually, it's not just somebody. It's.
Is it Larry?
No, it's not Larry. It's Sam. My fiance.
Oh.
Fiance. And she's telling us we should check the chat feed. But I can't check the chat feed. It's coming up, but I mean, it's. Is there stuff going on the chat?
I don't know. I mean, check on
I don't know. It's
As we are checking the chat feed, really quickly, I had gotten the chance to see the new Blair Witch. I got an advanced screener to it, so I saw it about
advanced screen, Sean.
I saw it about a week and a half ago. I know
town's back that way.
It's coming out this weekend. It was okay. It had a lot of the same beats as the original Blair Witch. Same situations, the same premises. This film kind of took it in a moderately different direction in terms of some of the beats and the new technology they had with video cameras and things like that. But it was very close to the first film, which was okay because I enjoyed the first one. That second one though, the Book of Shadows, just wasn't really anything close to what they were aiming for. But the new one, for a small budget horror movie that as a sequel, I think it did its job. I mean, it had some creepy moments. Kind of had the hairs on the back of your neck coming up at some parts, and it had a lot of people, screaming and twitching in their seats a little bit in the theaters. Bill, are you excited at all to see Blair Witch? Are you going to check it out in theaters?
If you could look under the desk over here and see how excited I am, I think you'd have a good idea.
Well, it looks like he's very excited.
It's about 6 inches of excitement.
Well, I think you're giving yourself a little more credit there.
Yeah, well, hey, this is radio, right? The camera adds 2 inches.
Radio adds about 4 inches. All right. Coming up next week, we are going to be back, or not next week. It's 2 weeks from now. We do our shows every other week. We got to get enough
material.
We really want to feature your social media comments and questions on our show. So make sure that you're finding us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Leave us questions. Doesn't matter if it's TV related, movie related, anything that's on your mind. We will talk about it. We'll debate about it on the show. Give you a little bit of a shout out. So make sure you leave your questions on our social media pages.
Put them up now.
Yeah, come on, do it.
Come on, do it.
Do
now.
it now.
Now, do it.
We would also like to thank.
Stop it!
Thank a couple of our sponsors. We have some really great sponsors. Today is actually Batman Day. National Batman Day. Make sure you go into Wade's Comic Madness in Levittown, PA. They are having all kinds of Batman sales. They're open till 10 o'clock tonight with the specials. Go in and see Wade, see the friendly staff. They'll be more than happy to help you out.
Did you hear that new comic that's coming out? It's a Batman goof spinoff. It's called The Shark Knight.
The Shark Knight?
Yeah, The Shark Knight.
I'm not sure if I heard about that one. It sounds pretty shitty.
I'm just going to let your imagination roll with that one.
And thanks to our other sponsors at 360 Digital Studios, buddy Rob of mine. They do some really great work over there, putting out some really cool things. Make sure you check them out on Facebook, on their website, on Twitter, wherever you can find them, and give them a little bit of support. I would just like to first thank our producer, engineer tonight, Mr. Mike. Thank you so much for stepping in tonight, buddy.
Magic Mike.
Great job. Magic Mike.
Joe Manganiello himself here. He does have a very Channing Tatum-esque look, I would say, doesn't he?
I mean...
No? Am I just lying?
I've got Joey Fatone. So Joey Fat One.
Oh, man.
Also... Bill, thanks for coming in.
Hey, always a pleasure.
And for myself, I'm Sean Harrigan. You can find us at the Cinescape on Facebook, Cinescape Cast on Twitter, the Cinescape on Instagram. You look for us, find us on YouTube or on iTunes. Make sure you're sharing, make sure you're commenting, make sure you're liking. Yeah, let's get our community to grow.
Rub it, lick it.
Yeah, twist it, pull it,
turn it, pull
do whatever you got to do to get it going.
Stronger.
But we want to grow our community of listeners and readers, and we need your help to do that. So make sure you're giving us some love online. As for Bill, Mike, and myself, thanks for listening, and we will be back in 2 weeks with our next episode.